Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about some essential macros that Disc Priests should be using. So the first one is Shadow Word Death. Now Shadow Word Death was removed from the game for Disc and Holy Priests, but Discs have a new spell which was released in Legion called Premonition. Premonition does the exact same thing as Shadow Word Death. It's arguably better. It's got a longer delay, so you've got a bigger window to use it, and it breaks more CC like Hex and Fears. This is an essential one because it gets you out of Blinds, Fears, Hex, and Polymorphs. The next macro, or chain of macros, are my target macros. So what do these do? I have these for Penance, Smite, Power Word Solace, Shadow Word Pain, and Shadow Fiend. And what happens when I use these is when I'm targeting the tank or someone in my group, they do not receive the penance, the mob they're targeting does. And the mob they're targeting gets smite, or smited. Or my Solace hits them. So I don't have to target an enemy mob ever, or an enemy player ever. I can just use these macros, and I will always be dealing damage without having to target anyone. Next is Self-Dispel. This is not super essential, but it is handy. Let's say I am targeting someone or I'm dealing damage and I get Frostnovaed, or I have a lot of UAs on me. I just use this Dispel, and that way I don't have to target myself. It's a lot quicker, by probably only a few milliseconds, but all those milliseconds do add up in Arena. Staying on Dispelling, this next macro is Dispel plus a Purge. Now Dispel Magic and Purify used to be one button, and so what this macro does is it makes it one button again. So when you're targeting an enemy mob or an enemy player, it will purge buffs from them, and when you're targeting a friendly, it will dispel debuffs from them. It's very, very handy having two buttons on one keybind. Next is my Angelic Feather macro. This makes it so you don't have to place your cursor on the floor and then click. You just press this button and a feather will drop right at your feet. Now you might want to have a separate keybind for feather so you can give it to your tank or a teammate, but a lot of the time you'll be using this button to help you kite or get fears. And lastly, this is just one of the ones I don't know how many people use, but I love it because it just makes your life so much easier in terms of rebuffing. If someone is behind a pillar, they're out of line of sight, or they are just out of range of you, this will buff you, and then because they're in your party and they're most likely 40 yards in Arena, they will get the buff Power Word for as well. So this way you can be targeting an enemy player and still buff your whole team. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to make another video talking about my add-ons, I don't use a whole lot, but I would go in depth and sort of talk about how to edit them, what they're used for and why they're good. Please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, have a good day, and I'll see you in another video.